format of the talks has not been clarified by any of the sides, whether the Americans or the Iranians or the Pakistani side, I mean the Foreign Office, about what format would they pursue. In the past, we have seen indirect talks happening between Iran and United States through Omani mediation. But given the level of participation in this talks, in this round of talks that's coming up tomorrow, with Vice President Vance traveling to Islamabad all the way from Washington, I assume there are going to be direct talks at some stage. Initially, the perspectives may be shared by the two sides with the mediator or through the mediator to the other, with the other side. And ultimately, we may see direct talks happening between the two sides. I think, given the nature of or you can say the complex nature of the issues that are being discussed right here, we can't expect very short talks here. We may have an opening round of around 2 days, where probably, this is my assumption, that some agreement regarding continuation of those discussions after judging the other side's intentions may be announced. And that would be, I think, the minimum or the best possible outcome that we should be expecting from these talks. The issues at play, just for the sake of our viewers, I should recall that they are as complicated as the nuclear issue, a framework for Strait of Hormuz, the missile ranges, the easing of U.S. sanctions on Iran, and the issues related to proxies. So all those are very complicated issues, and you can't expect any side to sum up or you negotiate within 2 days. So in any case, we should be expecting a prolonged negotiation process here. The process is being supported by other countries. It's not just Pakistan running the show by itself. As you would have seen and you would have heard from Trump, that the Chinese have been playing a role. And you would have seen the quadrilateral talks in Islamabad, where foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt also participated. And we know Egyptians played a very important role. So all of those countries are supporting, but I can't say if they are present here. There has been a report about Saudi foreign finance minister visiting, but I don't think so. Finance minister's visit would be related to the discussions on this issue, because if the Saudis ever wanted a seat on the table, or they wanted to follow these talks from close quarters, they would have sent a foreign minister here, not the finance minister. It's not just being raised in the talks. I think Lebanon issue is the one that's holding back the talks. There's a lot of uncertainty, even if the talks would go ahead. I'm pretty confident the talks will go ahead, but right now there's a lot of uncertainty about the talks being held. And the reason is that Israel has been bombing Lebanon since the ceasefire went into place. Although Israel had been bombing Lebanon before, but especially after the ceasefire took effect. So that's one reason why the Iranians are reluctant. Iranians were expected to reach here, Pakistan, on the night of Thursday night, but they postponed that trip, I think, few times. Still, they have not departed for Islamabad. And you must have seen a statement by the leading negotiator, Baqir Sajjad, that he said that America should first address the issue of Lebanon and the payment of the block, or the release of the blocked assets, Iranian assets, before any negotiations could take place. So it's very clear that Lebanon would be at the top of the agenda if the talks ever happen. And if you want to address the broader issue, I think the conduct of Israel and the assurance that Israel would abide by whatsoever comes out of these talks will be discussed in the meeting. I think they already have a full plate before them. If they were to expand that agenda, it would further complicate the discussions, and reaching a conclusion would become very difficult. But at the maximum, we can see before us the 15 points that US had presented, and all of them cover these points that you mentioned: the nuclear file, Strait of Hormuz, the proxies, the missiles, and the easing of sanctions against Iran. So those points that you have mentioned and I've just repeated, they comprehensively cover the agenda of the talks that are likely to happen tomorrow. I think they would like to have a communique at the end of the meeting, because if the talks succeed, there would be a statement. And as I said, that the minimum or the best case scenario that everyone right now is expecting is the extension of ceasefire. And for that, there would be a communique. If the talks fail, certainly we are not going to have any communique. They have both sides are bringing in their own press corps. Islamabad's press corps has also registered with the Foreign Office and the Ministry of Information for covering this event. So everybody would be looking forward to a communique, by a joint communique if the talks succeed, or at least there would be individual statements in case the talks fail.